It's my first day of school. I'm nervous and barely holding back tears. Mum said that I would be okay and to just be myself. I'm in the butterflies classroom, and the nice teacher is introducing me to the class. She's English, and I like that. Reminds me of Dad. And so I think that since this is an English school, it makes sense that she's English, and that the children are like that too. I won't have to speak any Spanish at all, and that comforts me. Suddenly it's my turn to speak, so I do. I tell everyone my name, my favorite color, and that I enjoy the beach. No one says a word at first, just a sea of staring. The teacher interrupts the silence, telling me that I did a good job and to go sit down. For the rest of the period, no one talks to me. But I hear them, and it dawns on me. They're all Spanish. When the teacher isn't listening, they speak Spanish. They think I'm weird. They don't like that I'm English. I'm not Spanish, like them. I'm not someone to talk to, not about football or how much we hate English class. I make a single friend that day, Adam Hamilton. He's the only other English kid there. I think I went home in tears. So I say to myself, they must be right. I am English. My father was born in Liverpool and raised in the suburbs of London. His father was English, born in Sunderland. I have a British passport. At present, my education has been solely British. I have studied the history of British railways extensively and have several model steam locomotives of British make. I like sausage rolls, Yorkshire puddings, and a good Greggs. I'm hanging out with some friends, and we are in the throes of what we pretend to be an enlightened and informed discussion about the place of the royal family in modern Britain. One friend, who's defending the family, or rather Elizabeth I, is losing the war, much to the amusement of everyone else there. As a former A level history student, I assert that the monarchy is an archaic institution based almost entirely on feudalism and thus has no right to govern anyone today. The friend looks right at me, smiling as she does so, and simply proclaims, "You're not even from here." Everyone laughs, including myself, because in a way, she's right. I am Spanish, born and raised in Madrid. It is my home. I am Spanish by blood, as my father is Spanish, because his mother is Spanish. I studied Spanish subjects in school. In football, I support Atletico de Madrid. It's the last day of summer camp, and there isn't a single cloud in the sky. The highs of yesterday's party continue to soar for now, as we all lumber against a whirlpool current of our own creation. The English are shouting, the Spanish are laughing, and the rest of the melting pot have slipped on the pool's floor, now a pebble floating around, propelled by the might of the current. Off to the side, where the pool meets grass and the water is calm, I am talking to someone whose name and face escape me now. Beside me, talking louder than the sweet dissonance of campers beside her, is the Spanish girl I made out with the previous night. I am an Anglo, and they are both Spaniards, the latter expected to speak English as part of a language immersion program. But it's the last day of camp, and there isn't a cloud as far as the eye can see. So, we're all speaking Spanish. As we talk, a look from her dries my throat as I suddenly hear myself in total clarity. Clunky pronunciation and incorrect grammar. The faceless man laughs as she splashes water in my face. She pleads in that voice I hate that I have to learn the language. And she keeps saying it, and the man laughs, and there's water in my eyes, and she keeps saying it over and over and over again. She wants to be a couple. I tell her sure. I don't tell her that she's my rebound. That I use Google Translate whenever we're texting to ensure she never tells me to learn the fucking language ever again. And through all the texts and calls and FaceTimes, I have never felt less Spanish. We break up about 3 months later. So, I must be Irish. After all, my mother is Irish, born and raised in West Clare. Her parents were both Irish. I have an Irish passport, my ID is Irish. In the old days, every Sunday, we had an Irish roast. And finally, for my 16th birthday, my mum bought me a DNA test, and the result said that, by blood, I was 77% Irish.
Last Christmas, we went up to Galway to spend the holiday with some family on my mum's side. One December's night, when the cold wind blew, we decided to take a stroll by the coast to get out of the house. As we walked, my eyes settled on the sea, how it blended seamlessly with the inky sky above. Breathing in the crisp air, I thought to myself that this, all of this, was home. After a long period of silence, one of my cousins plucked up courage and asked my brother and I if we felt more Spanish or more English. I told her I felt more English, and my brother said he'd always felt more Spanish. She was satisfied with my brother's answer, but confused and maybe even a little annoyed with mine. We ended up talking about the nuances of where someone is actually from for quite some time. At one point, I even told her about the DNA test results. Her retort was cold and factual, but I had never lived in this country. Not once. Eventually, we moved on, but the question never really left me. She was right. I thought about it, and really it was my mother that was from here, not me. So, what was left? All my life I'd been told that I wasn't from one place, but instead the other. But now there was nothing. Nowhere. As we returned home, I looked back to the coastline in search of an answer. Anything to feel like I was home again. But I didn't feel like I had just minutes ago, and even that feeling seemed like a lie now.
I think that those who have asked the question of, where are you from, thought they knew the answer already. And for the longest time, I treated the answer they gave as fact. But I know now that what people have said shouldn't really dictate what I feel the answer should be. I am from Madrid, and it will always be my home because I feel happiest whenever I return there. And I suspect that feeling will never fade. But I'm from my parents, so as well as Spanish, I am English and Irish, and that goes beyond blood, too. Home is where your people are, and I see my people in these places. My name is Robbie, and I'm from a lot of places.